Hello and welcome to the Endless Space 2 Early Access Factions video. So I'm here to show and tell about the factions, the major and minor factions that are in the Early Access when it's launching. I'm recording this in the version that's just prior to the Early Access launch, which is actually in 3 days from recording of this video. But this is all that will be at the launch in the Early Access. So I've been told, and only some bug fixes and balancing is coming at the launch, and then of course later on in the process we'll get more of the race. But anyways, so at the start of the early access we'll have 4 races available to us. In full version, I think we'll have 8 races plus the community created race, so 9 in total. And we also will be, as you can see already from here, that we can edit the races to make our own races by customizing the existing ones. Same as in all Endless Space and Legend, we could do our own tweaks and touches on them. So the 4 races we have are Sophons or factions. Are Sophons, Cravers, who are all both from Endless Space 1, so they're very familiar. Not very changed from what they were in that. And then we have the 2 new ones, the Vodiani and Lumeris, which are both totally new and a bit different. So let me tell you about Sophons. So Sophons are the race for science in Endless Space, and they are very focused on the science. They are omniscient, so they know how many other people have researched some certain tech, and also when they're researching a tech, if fewer factions have researched that, like they're the first one to research that, they'll get a bonus on that. So they are very much on the forefront of researching something quick, and they will be very technologically advanced compared to other races, thanks to that. And the race is the Sophons, so they get science from the race, and they also get bonus science from cold planets, and also their political opinion, which is one of the new mechanics in the game, which I won't be going too deep into this, but there is a Senate system, and you have political parties and stuff like that. And the Sophon race provides, of course, science, political party bonus from there. And their faction traits are a Pathfinder, which means they know better how systems are connected to each other, so they see further basically how they connect from place to place, which allows them to easier see where to go. And to combine with that, they have fast travelers, so they move faster with their ships as well, which allows them to really quickly go around and explore the galaxy. And they're really crappy in melee combat, so better get those space guns and shoot them before they invade your planets. So they have minus 10 military manpower per population on system, so they don't gain that much. And here's their ship types. So Hecto, DC, Kilo, Deca, Giga, Pita, and Jota class. So there are different ship roles. And I'm gonna show each of the race introduction videos as well. So here we go. And once we show this, we'll hop off to the next race. And I will shut up as the nice introduction video plays. These introduction videos kind of introduce the race and what they are and who you are as when you play that race.
They have always been first, the Sophons. First to split atoms, mine asteroids, and capture the energy of the sun. First too to crash their test rockets, trigger artificial earthquakes, and accidentally blow up their moon. Their great power has given them great irresponsibility. but through it. Now, bear the thirst to create perfection. Me.
So there's the So Fun introduction video, and the me in there is basically you playing as the as the race, and it kind of shows you how and what your race is doing, and gives you this kind of background lore where we are. And here's a quick look into the game itself. But we're just gonna exit out of this, and we'll check the next race, which will be the Gravers. So the second race that's coming back in this Endless Space 2 is the Gravers. And Gravers are these just they destroy and hunger, basically. They're, as it says there, they're pure sense of hunter-gatherers. So they only just consume life, basically. And they have this special mechanic where they deplete the planets. So they get quickly resources from each planet, but they also deplete it, and it becomes basically worthless for them. So there are slave drivers, which gives you 10 relation points on Empire. So nobody really likes anyone. So surprise, if you're a slave driver that just tries to kill you, nobody really likes you. And they're Gravers, so there's the Graver special ability. Plus 50% Fitzy on the undepleted planets, and 1 depletion point per population. That might actually be a building on the planet, or probably population. Anyways, you slowly, well, or fairly quickly actually, deplete the planets, but you're getting 50% extra from that planet. So you can really make armies quickly, but you need to keep basically getting planets, because the old planets will not be that great after a while. And surprise, the race that's very war focused has a military political opinion. So their faction is the militarist political party, and their laws, which of course the laws per political party support your race and playstyle, of course. Being Warmongers, you get militarists, and you get military laws, which help killing everyone in the galaxy. And their faction traits are Big Fleet, which is +2 command points on Empire, which means you can have bigger fleets. Normally, I think the starting amount is 4, so you can have 4 ships in there. Bigger ships take more command points, but basically 4 small ships. But with the big fleets, you get +2, so 6. And ships also cost 25% less dust to upkeep, so that's nice. Crowded planets, so we can stick more people into small planets. Tiny, small, medium, just go in there, exploit it, and let's get the hell out of there. Fearless Warriors, kinda opposite of the So Fun ability, so they're better at ground combat and also Eternal War, which means no peace. We can only make truce, and that's the most peaceful action we can do. Other than that, we are always in war or Cold War, basically, or truce. But yeah, Gravers are pretty cool, and they're coming back. So let's take a look at their video next. Personally, I think Gravers are a bit boring option, but some people very much like playing the Warmonger, and this is definitely for you.
We were already hungry when they created us. Even abandoned by our masters, our hunger still remains.
So there's Gravers. The nasty bugs that eat the galaxy. The depletion mechanic of the Gravers is hard to deal with sometimes, especially on this type of map where I played the Gravers last time. This is the 4-arm spiral galaxy, and basically there's a middle part here, and then each of these arms is a separate thing, and they're not connected to each other through these hyperlanes. So you need to research tech to be able to jump into the middle, across the gap, and then to the other places. Also, there's wormholes that connect the middle, but they are a bit later technology in the game. And problem with that is that it's fairly slow to do, and when you are depleting your planets, if you don't have much to colonize on this area, you're gonna have a lot of issues with the Cravers. If you don't get that opportunity to jump on someone else fairly quickly, you do need to do the war with your enemies, and if you don't, well, it's a bit of a pain in the ass, especially in this early access version, because in the version I played for this video and to research the game a bit, there was a 100 turn limit, and on this map it took around 50 to 60 turns just to get out of my branch, which meant by the time I got to anyone else, the game was pretty much over, and that is definitely a problem for Gravers. But I'm sure they'll get changed and get better, and plus when the turn limit is not there to bother you to score a victory, you can just do the war over and over and over again. But anyways, that's Gravers for us. So let's get to the good meat now, which is the new races, because we all have seen Sophons and Gravers before, but these two new races are really awesome. And let's start with the Lumeris. I'm gonna leave the Vodayani last, best for the last, because I love Vodayani. So Lumeris is the I've been calling these the fish mafia people, because they have well, they are very much have these families, and they are focusing on money, and they also have a bonus for water planets. So their affinity is planet brokers, which allows them to purchase planets to create outposts without using colony ships, and outposts can be exchanged through diplomacy to other empires for profit. So you can quickly colonize all over the galaxy, and then you can sell the planets to other people. Although, how I played the Lumeris meant just me making as much money as I could and buying out the whole galaxy and doing just mass expansion, where I just controlled most of the galaxy and pretty much won through that, just from the sheer size of that. I think in the version I played, hopefully the balance changes that are coming will balance the cost of the buying planets, because I think it was way too cheap. But I was geared for making as much money as possible, and I was just able to buy like whole galaxy at whim, basically. I had Sophons in my neighborhood, and they sent a colony ship and started an outpost, because you need to make an outpost first, and then it becomes in the proper colony later. And while they are making an outpost there, you can send your own outpost, and you can compete through just try to make it faster. And there's methods to make it faster and slow down the other outposts from being made. And I just bought a outpost there, prevented them from getting theirs first, and then I was like, well, screw you, Sophons, I'm buying the rest of the galaxy, and you're not colonizing anywhere. And it was pretty bit silly. But yeah, that's the Lumeris ability. It's really powerful being able to buy an outpost anywhere in the galaxy. You don't need to be near it, you don't need to be anything. You just need to know it's there, and boom, done both. And it's a bit broken in my opinion at the moment. It's very powerful ability. And here's the Lumeris. So Lumeris get more dust, which is the money, and then more money on water planets. And they're pacifist political opinions, so they're really happy joy all the time. So, well, no need to make war when you're gonna make money. And they have blockade traders, breakers, So tradition of respect for clever deals permits no penalty trade with factions unless at war, so you can make even more money. And then this is what really allows them to mass expand like madness, because there is an overextension, basically over-colonization penalty that affects the happiness of your colonies. I think that penalty is way too little at the moment. I had basically a rebellion going everywhere, and a bit unhappiness, and it didn't really affect that much, other than my population dying to hunger, because, well, they didn't produce any food because they were rebelling. But dealing with that was super easy, and this optimistic plus 20 happiness on systems allows you to overextend a lot before it even becomes any issue. Especially if you get some more happiness production and over-colonization penalty lowering out things, you can just colonize so many planets so quickly. It's insanity. But yeah, it's really good. Really good. And then they have efficient explorers, of course, just to find those planets quickly. So +2 maximum probes and TOC. And they also start with a probe tech, which gives them more range and durability, so you can probe harder to find those planets. But yeah, let's see the Lumeris introduction video, and you'll understand why I call these fish people, fish mafia people.
Sure, the families have disagreements.
That's why we have codes.
To work together. You don't steal the fish from somebody else's plate.
The second he walked in, I knew the kid was different. He'd take risks. Break the rules that tied my hands. But he ignores the codes. Goes overboard.
And dust, powerful stuff.
No personal use.
So we collect it, invest it.
And he misuses dust.
Complaints get handled here.
Not in back alleys.
Applies, shall we say, unnecessary force. Maybe he knows dust, but I know the families. And I need both of those to take the galaxy.
So there we are. We also saw one of the minor factions, the Deviants. Deviants, I guess. Difficult name. But yeah, that's the Lumeris. I'll talk about the minor races in a second. And let's go see the fourth race. This is actually a really good start there. Let's go see the Vodianis, which are my favorite race out of these 4 races in the game. And I'd say Vodianis might be my favorite race of all time in any sci-fi, and especially how they're like the whole concept of the race plays out in the game. It's really well done. I really loved playing the Vodiani. And if you've played Endless Legend, and you know the Broken Lords, these are basically Broken Lords in space, with a bit of different twist and more refined and expanded. And the Vodianis basically started on this really crappy planet, and they overextended and exploited the planet to point and polluted and all of that fun stuff, to the point that the planet was totally useless and they had to look up into the skies. And they are now living in these great arcs, which are kind of serving as home planets for them. So they don't really colonize planets. They instead live in these arc ships that they just park on an orbit or in a system, and then they just exploit the resources in the planets, which is a really cool mechanic and makes the gameplay a lot different for them. I didn't actually show you the ships of the other classes races, so I'm gonna quickly show you these. So you have a drone, forager, soldier, worker, bishop, guard, and a queen glass for the Gravers. These correspond directly to the other races, as they have roles, like this is the carrier, and the soft ones had the big ship at the end there. So all of these always correspond with the other races. And the Lumeris has Ordara, Arakio, Welma, Drew, Omokara, Lansalum, and Mios class. That's a carrier as well. So it's just a different looks basically between the races for the ships, but the roles and basically everything else is same for them, except the Vodiani, because they are the shipbounder and they have the arc ships. So they have Mayum class, Goyom class, Sluam class, Toisam class, Yayum class, Letum class, Ortam class, which is their carrier, and they have one more, which is the Ark, which is the home planet of the Vodiani. And you start with one of these at the start of the game, and you can make some more. So we are shipbound, -10 relations. We got, well, nobody likes us as well, because we are a bit strange in that sense. They have another special mechanic which I will show you in the game, because it doesn't really show here properly, and it combines again with the Ark and everything. And they are Vodiani, so they have a plus 50% population growth penalty. So it means they only get half the population growth, but they also get plus 5 of everything except the influence on planets, which is quite nice. And they are religious fanatics. They are worshipping the endless, the virtual endless, because that's what saved their race, and they are very, very fanatical about that. They're fast travelers, so they get +1 movement flying around. They have fearless warriors 2, which means more manpower per population on systems, which is a bit strange because they are a shipbound a space race. Why would they be good at ground combat? It would make sense if they were a bit better in space combat. And it might be just that this version and this might get changed, because I think something related to space combat might be more fitting to a race that has kind of abandoned the planets. And they have legendary heroes, so plus 50% cost reduction on heroes, and they get extra experience, so they level up quicker. The Vodian heroes seem to always be the highest level heroes I see on any empire as we played. Let's look at the introduction video of the Vodiani and explain that one more mechanic that they have in their arsenal, which makes them a really cool race. Plus they look like badasses.
We once had a home world, but we were poor caretakers. Had we not discovered the virtual relics, our tale would have ended there. By their grace, we were elevated, and we strive to serve their memory. Yet, in our moment of exaltation, a false prophet arose. The heretics summoned ancient demons and corrupted the faithful. But we refuse his lies and reject his accusations. We will see the heretic drown in his blasphemies. He will not break our will and bring ruin on our church. Only then can we shed our mortal cloth and rise. Endless.
That's pretty badass, right? I really like that. That is a really damn good introduction video to the game. So, that last mechanic I was gonna explain is the Essence, which is a special ability for or a special mechanic for the Vodiani. So in here you can see they have this kind of ankh icon, which represents the essence. And essence is harvested from other empires and can be used to build new arc ships and population units. So kind of like Broken Lords in Endless Legend, you can buy population. In Endless Legends, the Broken Lords use dust to just buy out population, and in this one you use the essence, and you also use it to build your arc ships like this here. And arc ships have this special attach arc in here, and we have on this system we have 3 colonized planets. You can see that there is 1 population on each, and we can go in here, and at any point we can just detach, and that colony is no longer system is no longer colonized for us. If we look back in there, and we can see that there's some planets in there, and they are colonizable. And I can send my ship back in there if I can find it there, and attach it again, and it will automatically colonize all 3 of these planets. All available that are available for colonization will be colonized by the arc ship in any system. And you can fly around these, and you can put them back here if you want. And it's a really powerful mechanic that you can insta-colonize with an arc ship the whole system basically, and start exploiting every planet. You also get, for example, if you have luxury resource on the planet, and it's producing the luxury resource over time, that means you can exploit all of those from each planet immediately as well, which makes them really, really powerful. Also, the arc ship, not only it is nice for colonization, it's also really damn powerful warship compared to the other ships. If you look at the left hand bottom corner there, you can see that it's 5,000 and a bit health, a lot of manpower, 300 attack and defense and all of that. And then we compare that to, like, for example, here the wheel is, the Leecher is our small ship. It's 36 power, 500 health, and a bit of stuff. So it's basically about 10 of these, but it's even more because it has long-range weaponry and all of that stuff. So they can be used as a really powerful warships early game to just crush the pirates, crush the minor factions, crush the other factions as well. Because you can just produce a normal fleet on top of your arc ships, which makes them really, really amazing. So let me just quickly plop this back here so you can see how that works. So it's just literally clicking that. It immediately becomes your, you don't need to wait 10-15 turns for the outposts or anything, you just do this. And we have 1 population immediately in there. And it's a really, really awesome mechanic. And each arc ship increases your essence maximum by 500. And each new arc ship requires the maximum of your essence. So first is 500, then 1000, 1500 and so on, to progress that. And you can also do alms for essence, which allows you to convert your dust production. 25% of that becomes essence. So if you have good money production but don't need the money, you can just make it into more arc ships and all of that, or more population. And this is the Holy Proliferation, which gives +1, and it's half of your accessible essence basically. Not only can you turn money into essence, you can also steal it from enemy races. Like I showed you here the Leecher. The Leecher comes with a harvester module, which is this harvest essence fleet action. And it allows you to park these Leecher ships, or any other ship with the module, because you can customize ships to your liking in this game. You can put this module on any ship basically, and you can park these on enemy planets, even planets that enemies that you are not in a war. So you can just park ship there and say, hello, I'm just hoovering and harvesting, abducting your people there, and you get some essence from that. And it's pretty cool mechanic. You just spread these leechers all over the galaxy on all your neighboring minor and major factions. Just leech essence, and then you just grow your population and make some new arc ships and take over the galaxy. So that's Wodiani, and the Wodiani is damn cool. I really liked how these play out in this game. And that's the 4 major factions that are in the game in the early access launch. And the Endless Space Wiki, the official wiki, shows that there's 8 races listed in there. 4 of them are still not shown. Plus there's the community grid race. So I would guess there's gonna be at release 9 races plus the custom race editor you can choose from. And on top of that, there is 16 minor races, 6 of which are currently in this build, and they serve same way as in Endless Legend, as a early nuisance. So they are the ones that send you the pirates, not just random pirates popping from somewhere. They're actually the minor races that are bothering you, and you need to deal with them. You can kill them, you can assimilate them, you can ally them. There's different methods to deal with them. And as with the Endless Legend, each minor race has a matching bonus. They're also like peaceful, warmongering, and they have all their own like attitudes for doing things. And also they have political parties, like the Mavros, who are like basically like Sophons but angry, evil Sophons. They are industrialist Warmongers, which gives you a bonus to your shipbuilding that makes all ships cheaper to build. Then there's Deuvians, Deujivans, whatever it was, and they're a science race, and they give you plus 10% science to your whole empire, and so on and so on. So as you assimilate that race or ally the race, you get that faction bonus as part of your own empire. So becoming friends with these minor factions is very, very important and very, very, very powerful. Especially if you're playing like, say, Sophons, who are science folks already, and you get the Deujivans as your minor race, which gives you even more science plus 10. If you're Warmongers, you want the Warmongers like the Mavros for Cravers, so you get 20% cheaper ships, which allows you to build massive fleets, and so on and so on. So they are really, really nice addition from the Legend to Endless Space 2. And it seems some of the Endless Space 1 major races or factions are now turned into minor factions. So, for example, out of the 6 we know at the moment, Hisho used to be a major faction in the first game, this avian warrior race, and now they are a militaristic, well, still avian race, but they are a minor faction, so you can no longer play as the Hisho yourself, but you can get them as a minor race. So we know at least Hisho won't be one of those 4 races that are gonna be later on in the early access and in the full release. If I had to guess, out of the 8 new races, 4 are gonna be returning races, 4 are gonna be new, plus the one that community makes. But yeah, that's my look into the Endless Space minor and major factions that will be at the launch of early access, and I'll probably update the video or do another video when we get more races, because they're damn cool, and I hope they keep the same level of quality that they did with the existing 4 into the coming new races, because they've done a really good job fleshing out all these factions. But anyways, if you like this video, check out the other stuff on the YouTube channel. There's Let's Plays, reviews, all kinds of other content, and I also do live streams for building management strategy games and some others every now and then. And I do it daily at nard.tv or twitch.tv/blunder. And I'll see you guys there, so bye bye.